Hi Irina, it is Gwendolyn here. Really great to see that you've taken up our offer for 2 free extra essay checks. It's just great to see. Also great to see your corrected essays in your error list. I had a look through these. There's just 2 comments here on this particular essay, the UK Council expenditure essay, that I wanted to have a look at. So here you have the pie charts illustrate. Good, you've added the plural there. But then the illustrate becomes singular, so there is no S there on the illustrate. Okay? And then here in this sentence, however, the expenditure on education was equal in Yorkshire and Lancashire, comma, as opposed to Derbyshire. Okay? Just a couple of changes there that I noticed, but everything else looked really good. Let's go ahead and look at your task 2. Okay, Irina, I just had a quick read through your task 2 here. I thought you did a fantastic job with the task response here. You've done a really, 2 really good ideas and really different, and really good examples to back up those ideas, and both were quite different, which is one of the most important things in the IELTS exam, is when you have to give your point of view, is you give 2 very different ideas and examples to back up that point of view. There were 1 or 2 grammatical things, but nothing too major. So let's go ahead and read through this. The issue of traveling abroad for studying is growing in importance year by year. I believe that the advantage, so add your article there, the advantage of learning a language and living in a different cultural environment is greater than the drawbacks. So add your article there, the in front of drawbacks there as well. In this essay, I will discuss this issue, giving examples from a Cambridge study and a multicultural association from Spain to demonstrate points and support arguments. Good, very good introduction there, Irina. Very well structured, great. To begin with, good transitional phrase. There are ample evidences. So this is the one main grammatical thing that I saw when I read through your essay. So evidence is one of these strange words that is already a collective noun, and you can't make it plural. So you can't add an S to it. That along with research cannot be, you cannot add an ES or an S to research to make it plural. It is already plural. So here to fix this, there's a couple of ways we can fix this. We can either say there is ample evidence, no S, to show that, or we can say ample evidence, no S, shows, S-H-O-W-S, shows that. Also, when we have this word evidence, often the word show appears with it. So yeah, either one of those will work. I'm going to go with, to begin with, there is ample evidence, again, no S, to show that learning a language in a native country is indisputably, ly, you have indisputable, so we need the adverb form with the ly, is indisputably easier and quicker. This is because speaking and hearing the same language every day helps to assimilate the words and I want something that parallels with assimilate here. And what could we put there? Yeah, maybe a word like correct. I'm trying to keep these 2 sections parallel. Assimilate the words, which is the subject, pronunciation is the other subject. So we want to assimilate the words and correct pronunciation, maybe correct the pronunciation faster. And then that becomes very parallel in your listing. This, though, is a great vocabulary word, assimilate, fantastic use there. Okay, let's move along. Take, for instance, a recent study from Cambridge, which showed that students who moved to the UK is more than one country, so we have to use the collective article the in front of it. So the UK for studying, passed the language, so show that students who moved to the UK for studying passed the language test at 25% more than those who studied English in their own country. This was okay, Irina, but I think it would be more clear to say maybe scored 25% higher on their language test than those who studied English in their own country. I think that is more coherent. Therefore, studying abroad can improve, no S there, improve language skills. Good, really good idea, great example there. Let's look at your P2. Furthermore, living in a different cultural environment can bring knowledge about people's traditions. This is due to the fact that living with a native family, one can learn about its habits. It's when we have the apostrophe, it is, so that's not correct here. Learn about it is habits. No, we're talking about its, so we would just do no apostrophe, ITS. Also, just so that you know in future, I wouldn't, you get deducted some points if you use contractions in the IELTS exam, so don't use contractions anyways if you had an opportunity to use them. But here it's not correct. Its is ITS, not the pronoun verb, not its as in it is. For example, a research made by a Spanish multicultural association between students who lived 1 year in a host family showed that they found out about specific traditions different from those related in books. Thus, living in a native family for a period of time can extend the knowledge of his traditions, of maybe of a country's traditions. I'm not sure where the pronoun his works in here. In conclusion, if there are many disadvantages to travel abroad for studying, like costs and missing family, I think that the advantages at your article there are greater and more educative. Good. Really good essay, Irina. Your writing is really good now. I think you're doing a fantastic job with your task 2 essays, and if you're able to write this within 40 minutes, then I think you're well on your way to get that 7.0 or higher that you need on the IELTS exam. Right, let's look at your task 1. This one was a little different than the other task 1s we've looked at before, so let's have a look at it. Okay, Irina, I paused to read through this. We don't do the flowcharts very often, so great to see you tackling this one. I thought you did a really good job with this. This is quite a hard essay to write, and I think a lot of students wouldn't know where to start. But you've done a really, really good job with this particular essay. I think the main issue you had was switching in between the tenses. So sometimes you didn't use the right tense here. That might be something you should Google and to have a look at. I know there is a blog about to come up on the IELTS podcast about which tense to use in the task 1. I'm not sure if it's up yet, but it is an important maybe blog to look at either on the IELTS podcast if it's up, or to Google and try to look at what is the best tense to use in task 1. Sometimes like this one you need to vary your tenses, and I think you struggled with that a little bit. So let's look at it, and I can point out where we need to fix the tenses and vary them through this particular essay. Okay, let's read. The chart illustrates the different stages of obtaining the liquid ammonia, starting from air, water, and methane. Good. To start with, good, great introduction, great way to begin your P1. The first stage is the production of the synthesis mixture. The process begins with some chemical, great. I love that your wording here and your language is good. Just need to get the right word there, which is chemical. C-H-E-M-I-C-A-L. The process begins with some chemical reactions between methane, water, and air. And the resulting mixture is passed through a catalyst where, just adding that word in there, where more water is added instead of being is added. After that, good transition. The substance is passed. So here you have the present continuous tense, passing, but we want the, I would use the past tense here, passed, P-A-S-S-E-D. After that, the substance is passed through a compressor and another, A-N-O-T-H-E-R, and another catalyst, where after the addition of water. Yeah, let me look at this one here. Yeah, so I think here what you want to say is where after the addition of water is, so no comma here and take that out, is, instead of getting out, a higher level word here is released with the CO2. The remaining, so here we had to switch the tense again, the remaining, ing, into an H2 is passed, again switching tenses, passed through a heater and another, A-N-O-T-H-E-R, compressor, comma, and as a result the second stage is starting. Good. I thought you did a really good job here. I know I've mentioned a couple things, but I thought you did a good job of coming up with some different vocabulary and different language here, Irina. So, and then you moved on to your P2 here. The production of ammonia is a circular, not circled, circular, S-I-R-C-U-L-A-R, is a circular process. Good. Great idea though in terms of how to describe that process, really good. From the reactor, comma, where the temperature is 450 degrees and the at your article there, the pressure 300 bars. Good, great that you knew what 300 bars meant, that was pressure, good. The substance resulted from the previous stage is passed, again, changing of your tenses, is passed by a waste heat boiler in a cooler, and after that in a stock tank. However, some ammonia escapes from the cooler and enters via a compressor back into the reactor. To summarize, the production process of ammonia is large and takes various devices with appropriate temperature and pressure controls, with an S there. I think that was probably just a typo. Good, Irina, very, very good task 1 essay, particularly for the flowchart, which isn't very easy, I think, to write an essay about. You varied your language. It was very clear to follow the process. Yeah, fantastic job. I think, Irina, if you're writing, as I said, both this task 1 and your task 2 within the time frame of the IELTS exam, I think you are, definitely on the mark to get that 7.0. Yeah, so fantastic job. I'm afraid that is the end of our course now. If you want to continue working, I'll send you some details of some further essay checks we can do, which you can look at. And I think my advice to you would be, Irina, is just to keep practicing either with us or on your own up until the date of your exam. The brain is like any other muscle, and if you stop using it, it will forget what you've learned. So my most important tip for you, Irina, is to continue practicing up until the date of your exam and use your error list as a method to think about the areas you need to focus on the most to still improve before the exam date. All right, Irina, best of luck, and do let us know how you get on when you get your exam results. Okay, bye for now.